Welcome to the loop.
Oh boy, we have applause somewhere.
Hey,
there's the applause.
There it is.
I mean, the studio audience. Was behind. They didn't get to it in time.
Yeah,
no, I don't. Don't you dare do it again.
We didn't have the applause cue.
Yeah.
Shut your. Yeah, we didn't light it up fast enough for him.
Welcome to the loop.
Hey,
my name is Eric. There's Kyle. He's here. There's Jeremy. He's here. There's Trevor. Hi. Trevor, how are you doing, Trevor? He's clearing his throat. He's getting hype. You guys get hype. Shake your booty. Shake your money maker. Shake what mommy gave you. It's the loop. So we're here on a very special night because you know why special? Let me explain to the people at home why special. People are listening.
Explain it.
No matter what night you're listening to this, if you're watching like YouTube or you're watching on
or listening
or you're listening on the iTunes because you can do that. If you want to know why it's special because you're here. Right now, and you're with us, and this is a thing
in the circle.
We're just a family here, you know. You're in the loop. Be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by. Oh, the circle. Be unbroken.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, sorry. There we go. Never mind.
Yeah.
It's a
circle, which is a loop.
It's a loop. It's a. This really
it all connects.
The secret of gospel. A gospel hour. We're a quartet. Have you ever heard of the Gaithers?
They're not us.
No. Can we harmonize it? Let's try.
Okay, the three of us.
Really low.
It was really. There was something cooking there.
That wasn't bad. That sounded pretty good. I think Trevor's was all right.
I didn't know where to go. You went low, and I couldn't go
I think
lower.
Trevor's high was
went low.
It worked.
It was in the right key, at least.
Do I need to go lower?
No.
Should I go fourth?
Kyle, they want
all
you
right,
to
no,
wear
do this
glasses.
again. I'll go fourth.
I gotta wear glasses.
They don't like that you don't have
Eric,
glasses.
start over. I'll go fourth. We'll see how I do at the fourth.
Okay, let's see. That's not bad.
I don't think I hit anything.
I thought you were going low, but I think Eric started lower that time.
I did start lower. I got scared.
I don't sing.
I don't think I hit an actual harmony.
You look so different with glasses on.
Is it a good look for me, folks?
I think you look very distinguished.
I bet he looks.
You look like a secretary.
Let me take a picture for Instagram. It's good. Okay. I'm gonna hold on, everybody. This is important stuff. Important things are happening
for our
here.
story.
It's because I look important now and
sound even more smart.
I am like 10,000 times smarter than I was before.
I bet even the people that only are listening to the audio,
they can hear it.
They can hear it.
They can hear it right now.
Yeah.
If you are only listening to this on the audio, check out someplace on social media. I'm sure
Teddy says plus 10 intellect when Kyle wears glasses.
Yeah.
This really, the loop is an RPG. I can't read the chat now.
Just needs silver wings, apparently. Is that because I'm a warlock? Is that why?
I don't know.
The wings destiny? Nobody?
Oh. I mean, why?
That's totally 3 weeks ago.
I mean, who plays Destiny?
Well, yeah, I know. I haven't touched Destiny in like 2 weeks now.
Jeez, no, I'm just kidding.
There's other things
That's
to play.
so mean.
Weirdos.
No.
Okay, I'm taking these
Yeah,
off.
I need them back.
You can see better. I can kind of see.
Do you want to see out of mine?
Oh, jeez.
No, it's.
Yours are probably 10 times.
Is this what we're going to do for the rest of this show? We're just going to switch glasses.
Can Kyle see with other people's glasses?
Oh, my. I can see out of one eye.
Jeremy's are pretty strong in that one eye.
Jeremy's the one eye I can see out of, so I'm going to just... Yeah, this is great. I can do this. Oh, gosh. No, I'm getting dizzy here.
So was I. That's weird.
This is a really weird start to a show. Singing some gospel and swapping glasses.
Welcome to the loop, everyone. This is what it's about. It's a talk show about
full
video
circle
games.
Eventually.
Wow, I really am the only one not wearing glasses here tonight, aren't I?
My
Kuipers
eyes have
has
been
got
really
his.
dry, so.
Yeah.
Trevor's got his dry granny eyes, so he's wearing his glasses.
Granny eyes. Did
I
you
can-
steal them from a grandma and
Yes,
shove
he
them in
did.
the sockets?
I can
Well,
go like this and not see much.
No, don't do that, please.
Yeah, do it.
Don't do that.
Do
all
it.
night. Don't.
I feel
can-
like you're gonna.
I can read some things, but not others.
Okay.
Anyways, what's everybody been playing?
Games.
Anybody been playing video games?
Nope, not at all.
I've been-
I played the TSA pat down game a few times this week.
Yes.
Oh, how was that game? Was it up, down, down, left, right, left, right?
There was some
start,
of that.
select?
I thought
B,
maybe
A,
coughing
B, A.
was necessary, but I
Did you-
didn't do it, so I don't know if I passed or failed.
But you
That,
won.
But I mean, yeah, absolutely. I was able to advance anyway.
Yeah, you got to your destination and back home, so you
Yeah, it was like a full circuit.
you must not have said anything too terrible to them.
No.
So they let you pass.
Yeah.
Cool. So
I didn't ask any of them like what time they got off or
hey,
like,
what's up?
when you have work tonight.
And you're like, meet me outside.
Jeremy's just, you know,
Push me outside.
Be like
How about
little
that?
to the left. You know,
Dayton,
don't do that one either.
Uh-huh. So yeah, did you hadn't really had any time then for video
for no games.
I've
for the
had-
video games?
I've had no time.
You
at
didn't
all.
take your
I
Switch
feel-
with you?
No, because I still didn't have any time.
Well,
Not even in the hotel room or on the flight, or
too busy partying.
you could have played
There was activities at the event I was at
in the airplane.
from 7 a.m. until most nights until about 11.
Wow.
I mean,
Sounds like a nightmare.
I don't blame you for not having taken it because I don't take stuff usually
and
when
I thought
I go
I'd have
on
to
trips.
get it out, and put it in
Yeah.
a dedicated bin and do all that weird stuff with it.
That's weird.
Yeah.
You non-takey things. I
Yeah.
take things with me everywhere.
Well, I
Yeah.
also
You've got
don't
like
have a
4
travel case yet.
consoles, a dedicated suitcase for your consoles.
I have at least 2 handheld consoles with me at all times.
No,
plus
Eric.
my phone.
Eric doesn't actually set his stuff up on his desk. It's all in a suitcase, so that
Yeah.
when he needs to move,
Just
he's mobile.
opens and goes.
Yeah, I don't have like a PlayStation with me at all times.
all times.
At one point, I wanted to make one of those like mobile, the original Xbox, but a mobile like suitcase where you put a flat screen monitor in there and stuff like that. It was total nerdy, and I didn't do it.
Teddy wants to know if TSA Pat Down is VR. Is that a VR game?
It is.
Yeah, it's coming out soon.
Yeah, I think it's just R.
Or just
I'm
came
not
out.
sure if the V is part of it.
TSA
I mean, not for me
rated
anyway.
R.
Oh, but bump.
I've been
You've been playing something.
I've been playing Stardew Valley
Oh yeah, on the
because
Switch.
it's out on the Switch.
Yeah,
Trevor's been playing some of that too. I
Yep.
That game
I should
is
do that this weekend.
charming as Fred.
As Fred, yeah.
It is charming as Fred.
Fred is
Um,
pretty charming.
Yeah, he's
I didn't play it when it came out on PC last year. I haven't played it on any of the other consoles. Once I heard it was coming to other consoles, I waited until it was out on Switch. Just because it seemed like that may be the
It's portable.
it's
best
kind of
way
the
to go,
perfect
yeah.
console for it.
So I got it
perfect.
on Xbox, but I've yet to start the games.
Oh,
And I
man.
think it was because then I found out it was coming on Switch, and I was like, well,
yeah.
I feel like that's better suited.
It's really awesome. I'm really enjoying it. Hey,
Crazy's here.
Crazy's here.
We know when Crazy
Oh
shows
boy.
At least it's that now instead of just the slots now. So
Or instead of him shutting you up, Trevor.
yeah, well, he has shut me up for a while.
I'm
so-
assuming.
I know.
I'm assuming he's going to deliver us a genre.
Yeah, get us a genre here.
There it is.
It's there.
Yeah. So
I think there's a specific there. I don't know if we can go.
What?
I'm not in charge.
Yeah. A holly jolly Christmas.
We could just sing.
all right, we're getting our music loaded up here. It's
Someday he's, maybe Kuipers will dance to something that isn't Christmas. But I mean, for now, I don't know. We're running out of Christmas songs. We need to find another
Yeah.
source for like I don't know. Should we do that? Let's do that one.
sure. That one sounds.
Here we go.
That one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that'll be fine. You ready? There's Kuipers.
Why does he always act like an Oompa Loompa?
Because he is an Oompa Loompa.
He's so short. Yeah. Well,
There's no candied yams this time, though.
We were going to talk about Stardew Valley, but same song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. All right, good
job, Kuipers.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Nice birthmark. So, there's a lot of things happening
Oh, man.
in
So
Stardew Valley.
Yeah, there's a
Did
lot.
you find a wife?
I have not found a wife yet. I'm not very good at making friends.
Can you
It's
start as a
slow.
lady
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You can start as a lady.
and still find a wife?
Yeah.
I think so. I don't think
I think
that you're
or a husband. You
Yeah.
can go
Yeah.
either way.
Either
didn't-
way,
you know.
You can go either way.
You can't
Jeremy.
go both, though.
I didn't
Polyamorous.
know.
You
You
can
know.
go your own way.
How current political correctness was working in that game.
Nathan hates the game, just so, I mean, that explains a lot.
Wait, Nathan hates it?
Yeah, because you can't go both ways. Pa-dum, ting! So,
It's good. The only problem that I've come across so far, and I hope that it's just a glitch that they will somehow fix, is that when you go to the crafting section of your menu, you can't highlight all the different things. It's like it'll skip over certain items.
Because you can't make it.
So, well, no, because I've got the actual stuff that I need to build, like a stone path. And every time I try to go build a stone path now, because I've already built some before, but every time I try to build anything, it just like skips over that and goes down into the rest of my menu. So it's like you can't get to all the different craftable things that you've unlocked yet.
I think you just have to
At different times.
strategically do it. Sometimes you have to go like around and then to the left or something.
That's
Well,
good that
Dumb
it
like
does
that,
that.
but yeah.
Yeah, and then another thing that I ran across this afternoon was that I had somehow inadvertently moved my table in my house, and I tried to set it back, and it kept telling me you can't place it on top of a player when there was nobody in the room.
To go?
So it was like I had to set it in only one spot that was like shifted down 3 or 4 spots from where it was. So I don't know.
It's spooky.
Hopefully
it
there'll
is.
be something that'll kind of fix some of that stuff, but
Yeah, I don't. That's weird. I didn't run into that. I mean, I played it a lot on mouse and keyboard though, so
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah,
It's a lot
you
easier
wouldn't
to just select your
right
items.
Which
so.
I mean, the right joystick is supposed to be like a mouse, but it doesn't work when you open up the menu. Like
Oh,
it disappears. So it's kind of weird.
But you spent some time with it though.
Yeah.
Have you done some mining? and some
I've done a little bit of mining,
farming?
a little bit of farming. I found a secret dungeon trying to adventure and got down a couple of levels in that. So I don't know. I like it. I like the fact that there's a lot of different things to do and a lot of things that even once you complete your farming tasks for the day or whatnot, there still are other things to go and explore and do, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's
What have you? How long have you played it? You think like a couple hours? Or?
yeah, I've got I think 16 or 18 days.
Okay.
So I am about 3.5, 4 hours
'Cause
into
you
it. I
can-
think
you can. Man, it'll just go and go and go.
Oh,
and go
yeah.
so
forever.
fast.
So,
that was one of the things I was wondering because it's something that you could play almost limitlessly, right? Or I mean, I
don't-
know there's an end game to
I mean,
it.
I think a lot of people kind of consider getting married and stuff like a kind of part of the end game, but that's
Okay.
not the end game. That's just like
Right.
kind of a pretty big accomplishment. So
because I know that there's like an actual. It seems like there's some actual story.
and they're supposed to release like a multiplayer aspect of it to where you can marry another player
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So but
Oh,
that
okay.
stuff, that's supposed to come out in an update. How long have you spent much time with it, Trevor, or on those Switch?
Yeah, I've spent quite a few because I
That's the case. Will there be divorce
Divorce.
divorce
Divoice.
lawyers
The voice
as well?
chat
I
will
needed
be
a
on
voice.
the voice chat will be on an app.
Yeah.
There it is.
Because it's a Switch and you have to do it
Yeah.
with your phone.
no,
Sorry,
I've
Trevor.
played quite a bit actually. I've gotten through 2 different seasons now, and
Whoa.
yeah, so I'm in the fall. I just planted a bunch of corn and some pumpkins,
it is kind of helpful. I mean, you don't have to do it, but it is kind of helpful to just kind of look at maybe what should I invest in early on, like if you want to like make some money right out the gate, because it takes a while for it to grow. And like if you screw up those first couple seasons, you almost have to wait a year to start like making some of the bigger money. So Crazy Lake says, hey, when does the singing gospel aspect come into play? Well, we already
missed it.
You must have missed it.
You missed it.
Yeah, we were at the beginning. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Go back and watch it on YouTube.
All right,
or
so
iTunes.
I know that. Has anybody else other than Trevor and I been playing Shadow of War?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well, now get
I
ready.
want to.
Sit in tight for the next 45 minutes while Trevor and I talk about. I'm gonna let you go first, Trevor. Say what you have to say, because I don't want to I feel like I'm gonna blah 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 blah. And then if you say stuff, then I'll not say as much. So.
I was a little afraid of. I think I was kind of. I wasn't even really conscious of it, but I think I was kind of ready for the game to be not that good. Mm-hmm. And so when I started playing it, I was blown away. It's so good. I mean, it's got faults, definitely, but it's so good. It's like the variety of the Nemesis system variety has been so good. I wasn't sure about the combat system because they revamped it a little bit, not much, but I like the changes they made. It looks great. It plays really well. I like how the progression stuff works. I'm just very impressed by it. Even the story's not like terrible. It's not great, but it's
not good.
It's gotten me
The story?
enough for its. I don't know. And then I haven't gotten that far honestly because I spent like the whole first thing just I went and I just killed a whole bunch of orcs and I was fighting them, and so it's a lot of fun.
So you're saying that the story wasn't that or isn't that great so far?
Oh no, it's not that great. It's also if you're a nerd at all about Tolkien canon, it's like very crazily not canon.
Oh yeah, if you're into like Lord of the Rings lore and Tolkien lore, like this game's gonna frustrate you probably to some extent because the big evil spider is now a sexy lady spider.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't think that
What's that?
Oh, I was going to say, just as far as the story, I didn't think that the story in the first game was that great.
No.
Or
it wasn't. No.
Whatnot either.
You don't play this game for story. That's not what it's about.
You make your own story.
That's like 90% of video games. You don't play them for story. I mean, if you're there for story, you're going to be disappointed so many times. Games just, I don't know. I feel like it's for me, anyways. Some people.
There are some stories that.
Then again, people like Marvel movies. So,
I guess I don't really.
I'm just kidding. It's easy.
You like some Marvel movies.
I do like a few.
I don't go in there. I kind of go in there with low expectations for most stories, and so I think the minimum that they usually do, I'm just like, oh, this is actually kind of interesting, not bad.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, with the first game, I like having a little bit of story that at least gives me a feeling of I have a specific reason for doing this, and I never felt like the first game gave me that either. But it was one of those that was just like, okay, well, I am interested in how this Nemesis system works, and that was what drove the game for me. And it sounds like that's what this new one is very much built on as well.
Okay, go ahead.
That's what it's a relief that they know that's the central system to the game. They didn't. It doesn't seem like they're trying too hard to make you do other things. They're just like, they'll occasionally be like, here's a story mission, but then go back to doing what you're doing. Yeah.
I will just say this. I mean, so I'm not one to make if a game isn't trying to be an emergent game, I'm not one to try. I know we've talked about this before, where Trevor is very good at kind of be he doesn't, as long as it's open world, he's going to kind of make his own fun. He's good at that's kind of the way he plays the games. He kind of role plays them a little bit, whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm not that type of player. I kind of like to have an objective and go in and play.
Yeah.
But if a game is made well, a game like Rust or a game like Minecraft or stuff like that, those are very emergent games that kind of just suck you in, and you get to go in on it, and you can lose hours, right? And this is that type of game for me. If this is I think that it's the kind of game that makes me get emergent gameplay. I normally don't. I get frustrated with the idea of not having. Like you said, kind of okay, there should be a story that drives it, and there should be this and that, and that that you can't really come to this game with that expectation because for one, they've taken token lore and just bastardized the heck out of it, and two, it's not good. Like the story is bad. Like just if you're gonna play this game, just know that don't come here for story. If that's why you're gonna play it, then don't play it.
Come with low expectations. Yeah. Try to enjoy it a little bit.
But it's just don't it's like bad Lifetime movie. Like not even a good Lifetime movie. It's a bad
There's a good Lifetime movie?
Oh, sure. The one with Will Ferrell.
The one your wife likes and asked you to watch with her. I got it.
No,
starring Will Ferrell.
Watch that. Anyways, no, but there's but here's the thing. I think that one thing is this game I have lost time in it where I've played I've just played it aimlessly, and I don't normally do that with games because I get into a game and I'm like, okay, I got a lot of games that are coming out in this time of year. Like I gotta play it through. I just gotta go through, mainline it, do the main quest. And this game, I just lose myself in it, and it is just so like it's just rewarding to kind of just to play it. Like the combat's really satisfying, and I feel like it. I wrote this note earlier, and I was like, this is the best way I can describe it. It's like, for one, they didn't cut the fat. And I think that's great. I think that's good.
Because if anything, they put a ton of fat on there.
It's like a rich fat cut of meat.
Oh yeah.
And I think I'm just enjoying every bite of it.
That's great.
Because it's like there's just so much stuff in there that's not. Maybe it's kind of like, well, I don't know. It's kind of. I feel like Warner Brothers has kind of got their own like flavor now. They've kind of taken stuff from. They've taken stuff from Ubisoft and from some other places. They got the towers in there, which normally I would hate. But the climbing is so inconsequential and so like not even. I mean, it's just It's a nice mechanic, but they just run up a wall. It's just like there's nothing to it. It's not like you have to mantle anything. You just go up the wall.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that in the first game, wasn't it? Okay, because that was nice that when you climbed, it wasn't like this. Oh, I'm stuck, and now I need to find where the next piece is and lean over to it and just right or whatever. Mm-hmm. That a lot of games tend to have. So,
and so it's one of those things where I think that there is a lot to it, but it kind of lets you get lost into it. And I'm going through and just like looking at the map and going, okay, I need to get rid of this icon. I need to clear this icon. I should just go over here. And it's none of it's story stuff. And so that's really good. But yeah, I think that if you want to play it, you should try. If you're even at all interested, give it a shot, and just don't come to it for story, but just kind of enjoy the game. And the thing is that they have really blown out the Nemesis system in this one.
Yeah, they did a great job.
Because before it was kind of like two separate areas, and you had your different orcs, your like, what are they, captains and warlocks, is it? Or war chiefs, right? Is that the ranking? Or
sorry, I was. They have the captains are the lowest level named guys. The war chiefs,
war
and
chiefs.
The
I can't remember the top ones, but anyways, there's multiple areas though. There's not just the two areas this time.
There's like 6, I think.
Yeah,
so.
and like each one has a whole like army of these guys, and I think their banter is great. Like having these guys come and just trash talk you all the time.
Oh, it's great. Yeah,
the voice acting is really really good. And I just.
Well, and there's a nice variety of it too. I mean,
bloody puke. Like that's how they all talk.
It's so like it's nice because it's like they're orcs to where they all sound pretty similar in a lot of ways. But like they've provided enough variety in either the lines or the personalities to where it sounds like you don't feel like you're running into the same guy over and over again. In fact, you're feeling like you're running into a lot of unique personalities that are like these ridiculous over the top things there. So. Well, I ran it. I was just running around one time, and I was on this wall, and this guy, I heard this, and I was like, okay, that's too weird to not be a captain. And I looked down, and sure enough, there's this guy called something the Moaner, or something like that. And so I was like, time to kill this guy. And then it's so funny, because then they do their initial taunt. So you run into them and it'll show them and they'll usually say something like, "It's the talk, I'm going to kill you," or something like that. This guy, it goes up to him and he just says, and then even worse, he goes on later and it'll show if they like get enraged or something. Or like this one cheated death. or no, not cheated death. Sorry, he was death defying, to where it means you'll get him down and you think you're gonna kill him, and then suddenly they'll get back up and start killing you. And this guy, I get him down and he's on his knees, and then he's just like, and he gets up and he starts smacking. I was like, oh my gosh.
And it's funny too because when they kill you, they'll change their name sometimes, like the Tar Killer, or
Yes,
or they'll become the Sword Breaker, or like all these
I
other
love
like
that. That's so good.
and it's like that stuff feels like very weighted, like in the game.
Yeah.
When an orc kills you, it's such a bummer because you're just like, oh, this guy just got promoted in his ranking. I'm
gonna murder this guy.
And then he gets like better armor. He's more powerful, and they just keep moving up in the ranks. And that's the thing where I lose time in it because that dude killed me. I come back and I'm like, screw all my other missions or
I
anything
gotta
else.
kill that guy.
I gotta go kill that guy. Like I
Right.
tag him, I track him down, and then I sometimes murder him.
Well, and I don't know if you've had this, but I've had like tons of different guys I've killed come back, and I kind of wonder if that's partially because of the difficulty I'm playing on. But like they always cheat death. I had one guy cheat death 3 times or two times now.
What do you mean, like during the battle or
No. I killed him, and then he came back to life, and he came down and hunted me down.
Oh,
later.
really?
Then I killed him again, and he came back after me again.
How do they come back to life?
It's just a thing. Typically, if you don't behead them, even if you cut them in half, I had one guy I cut in half. He came back to life because he was actually a great nemesis. I actually just took him down.
Are they like
he might come back
taped together or like
well, this one guy,
glued?
the guy I cut in half came back, and he was something like the assassin or something. I don't know before, but this time when he came back, he was called something like Tuga the Machine or something like that, and he had like
that's so
all
cool.
these it's so cool.
Mechanical parts and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I think I mean, this lends itself to emergent gameplay, which I saw in the chat. People were asking what that means. And for our audio listeners, if you're not familiar with that term, it does mean it's gameplay where you create your own story. Pretty much is kind of what
The
that
mechanics of
term
the game
allow for that. Yeah, it's kind of, and this game definitely lends itself to that. There's just I don't know. There's just, I mean, I'm sure Tolkien's rolling over in his grave, but
oh gosh,
what have they done to my property?
Hey, but it's the dark side of Tolkien lore.
I mean, it's but it's
dark
not.
side of it.
I mean, you could say that, but I don't know that it pulls.
I mean, that's
from
what they
that
say
stuff.
about it.
Who says that?
That's what it says in the description of the game itself.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay.
It does like that is
The
one
dark,
thing I love
sexy
about
side
that.
of it. I'm sure.
That
Well, I didn't say it was sexy. I just said it was the dark
Well,
side.
I'm just saying, like, I don't remember any like.
there's
anyway.
typically not a lot of sexy people.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it always says the elves are very fair and stuff, but
Yeah.
that's about. They don't really. Well, and then Galadriel's like the most beautiful woman ever, or something like that. But yeah.
They're fair and
But I was gonna
Balance.
say this game like
Symmetrical.
yeah.
makes me feel like I kind of in a way wish they would just adapt it to like a Star Wars game because it would be so easy. You could keep most of the powers too, but like
What do you
'cause
mean?
It makes me feel like a Sith Lord or something. But it's
I
the
think
way
he's talking about the Nemesis system and stuff like that.
the Nemesis system, just the way the game plays, because you go around exploding people's heads all the time. You go and interrogate these guys, and you're like, and then you don't need
And their
them
heads
anymore. So
pop like a big pussy pimple,
Yeah.
filled with black blood.
and then it's so good. So,
Yeah. We'll try not to talk about it anymore.
yeah, sorry. I was expecting it to be pretty good, like pretty darn good, and it's great.
That's
so.
the thing is, like, the more I kept seeing like the loot box stuff come out, all this other stuff come out about it, and I didn't really watch much of the gameplay. I was like, it looks like more of the same, whatever.
Yeah.
It just sucked me right.
It is more the same, but
it's
much better of the same.
I didn't
so.
want to come to the podcast tonight.
I didn't get to even play it because I was working on stuff, so I was so mad.
I was like, I played it for
So,
like an hour tonight, and I was like, or maybe an hour and a half, and I was just like, I don't want to leave. I don't want to go.
Oh, we don't need to do
So
the
we
loop,
need
do we?
to we need to make sure that we text him tomorrow and call him tomorrow to make sure he comes for the
Maybe,
Tubcast.
maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll just be absent tomorrow. I just have to take a day
I'm not
off.
filling you in
Yeah,
for you.
you gotta come, Trevor. Take my place.
I'm gonna play that game. So
The loot box stuff, real quick. I do want to hit on that because I think that is kind of a hot button issue with it. It doesn't. I haven't. I mean, obviously, I I don't know why I would have, but I haven't seen any reason to buy the stuff yet. I know it isn't just solely cosmetic, though. It does affect the gameplay a little bit, and I know I've heard stuff of people saying maybe it affects the later game.
That's what I've heard, that the end game is it's either grind a lot, which is fine with me, or buy stuff if you want to get the true ending. But I was going to say the same. I have not been tempted at all to buy them at all. I haven't even gotten like equipment packages.
I mean, I've bought the stuff that you get from the in-game currency, I guess. I've unlocked that, but why not? So, give it a shot. Maybe if you didn't like the first one, I don't know that you'll like this one. I don't know that they changed enough to maybe draw you back in, but
it's very similar. If you didn't like the first one somehow, you won't like this one.
I get why maybe it's just not that type of...
It might not.
But if you like open world games where you get to check the little icons off the map,
we did have a question about one of the specific orcs in the game, the bard orc who sings. Have you guys come across that one? I've seen it online.
He's very popular on the internet.
He is very funny. I've seen a couple of things.
Are there a lot of ridiculous orcs like him that almost seem like they don't fit?
There are quite a few.
Okay.
I don't want to say certain ones just because, if you watched Conan's Clueless Gamer, you might know of one of them that's very ridiculous. I don't want to say anything just because I kind of don't want to spoil things. In fact, I kind of really feel bad about saying something about the motor one just because it was so funny just to come across organically. And like some of them are just like downright cool. Some of them are just like really weird. And
I mean, it's just impressive that they have a system in place that can just constantly be popping out all these different characters and these different names, and they all have like just different motivations and different personalities, and like the voice acting is unique for a lot of them, and it's just, I don't know. It's really, really, really impressive. The loot box thing, it does not seem to detract from the game. No. I'm sure that's kind of probably people's big, maybe trepidation with the game. I wouldn't say it should be.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can still have fun with it. I've had a lot of fun. I've played a few hours, maybe 4 or 5 hours, and
nice.
So, Star Citizen 3.0 is going to come out.
Oh,
this
yeah.
month.
I'm sorry. I forgot.
No, I already covered it.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to say? Star Citizen 3.0 was coming out.
So they finally released the playable version of 3.0 to the Evocati, which are the people who test the game for them. And
they're the ones that have spent
the most money.
Millions,
it
right?
just means that actually they could have spent very little. But all that is
your fault.
Sorry, guys.
Is they have been people that test the game, and they're very good about just testing certain things.
So, like, actual game is potentially coming out.
But
soon.
however, the game, once they release that, it typically means within the month it will release. So
maybe.
Well, fingers crossed.
You mean the version of the early game?
Yes.
Right. We're still not talking about
the final game. No,
that's probably a millennia away.
Okay.
2022.
His grandchildren will finalize it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, depending on
because game design is easy.
It is very easy, actually.
The more money you have, the easier it is.
I mean, my kids.
Yeah,
my kids.
Money
do it.
solves everything.
Minecraft Academy.
Kind of does.
They do it.
Money kind of solves.
Speaking of video games, what else is coming out this week?
Games of the week. We know you can't wait to get your grubby little hands on them.
That's right. It's the games of the week. These are games that you have to look forward to from now till next Tuesday.
So thus this week.
Just got your paycheck. Now you know what to do with it.
Yeah, spend it on
No,
video
you don't
games.
have your paycheck anymore.
Yeah, the best thing. I mean, forget mortgage or rent or whatever. Buy video games.
Yeah.
I mean, you can plug your console in at the bus stop.
Yeah.
Get your suitcase like you were talking about.
That's right.
Stock up on battery chargers so you can charge your Switch. October 13th. That's Friday the 13th. Ooh, that was good planning. Good
In
planning.
October, the month of Halloween.
Yes, there's a Friday the 13th. The Evil Within 2 is coming out on Friday the 13th. October, Friday the 13th. I didn't play the first one. I really liked the look of the game, but I heard bad things and didn't really follow through with it.
I'd heard mixed things. I'd had a couple of friends that really enjoyed the first game, and I'd heard a lot of bad things about it. So,
This looks intriguing to me, and the last one looks intriguing to me. I don't know that I'll be picking it up, but hey, if you like the first one,
wasn't there a Resident Evil developer or something that was
it
involved
Silent
with
Hill?
this one?
I thought it was Silent
Or
Hill.
Silent Hill?
I can't remember.
Maybe, but I don't know. But you picked that up October 13th. That's on PS4, Xbox One, PC. Also on PS4 on October 17th is actually the rest of these games come out on October 17th. That's next Tuesday. Gran Turismo Sport on the PS4. It's been a while. I heard there's going to be VR support, so if you have PlayStation VR, you can get in the car and look around while you drive it, which would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Hope you don't
Especially
crash.
if you had steering wheel control.
Yeah, you can actually they sell it, so you could have the actual.
Actually, I wonder, do you ever play car games with
Yes.
your in the actual car?
first person.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Sometimes, yeah.
depending on the game.
I just never do, because every time I try, I'm just instantly against walls and crashing.
It's
Yeah.
weird because I
It's-
would. Oh, go ahead, Trevor. Sorry.
Sorry, I did it on Forza Horizon because it was kind of fun to do, but
Yeah.
it's very hard though.
I tend to play Forza Horizon in the back of the car, and then I play like the Forza Motorsports in the car.
That makes sense.
I don't know why, but it just feels.
I mean, Forza
better.
Horizon. I mean, there's a more casual spirit
Yeah, it's a
to
little
it.
more arcadey.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I never with most in the car views, I always feel like my vision is so limited that my reaction time just does not work right.
I kind of went
games.
down a dark hole with the not Dirt 4, but Dirt Rally that came out before it a couple years ago, where I had the actual steering wheel set up on my PC, and I would do it in first person view, and that game was so hardcore with your just steering and everything. It only felt good that way with this controller. It just was
Sure.
hard to even play.
And
it, so-
maybe that would change things, is actually having a wheel
Yeah.
as opposed to just the joystick on the controller.
It was fun, but it was punishing.
I picked up Project Cars 1, and I haven't played it yet with my VR, but that's why I picked it up. But it's because I thought about picking up a steering wheel because that would just make it so much better. But
Yeah, it is fun. Then Rogue Trooper Redo or Redux, however you want to say it. Wow, this game looks weird. PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Is this what is it?
Is that
it
like
was-
Manhattan?
it was kind of a cult
This is
classic.
Dr. Manhattan.
It's Rambo Manhattan.
He's covering his hammer.
People are wondering, it's an army guy, very buff army guy with blue skin. I don't. What?
And a real big gun.
I think it was a really popular PS1 game, I want to say.
Okay, so they're bringing it back.
And so, yeah.
All right, a game I am incredibly excited for next Tuesday is South Park: The Fractured But Whole. And that
The fractured but whole.
yes. The first one was great. The first South Park RPG that they put out a couple years ago was absolutely fantastic. It was one of my favorite games of that year. I hope they can come through with this one again. I feel like South Park is, they're I don't know. I still enjoy their humor, although in a very sensitive society that we currently live in, I feel like people tend to not enjoy their humor as much. We'll probably talk a little bit more about this later. So anyways, this is if you like the first one, if you like RPGs, it's almost like a parody of an like a really good RPG, but it's still a really good RPG.
This one's supposed to be with what is the
it's supposed to be superhero
superhero
like the
themed.
last
what's
game
his,
was
what's his name?
I
Cartman's.
don't remember for sure, but it's Cartman. I don't know. The last game was very RP, very classic, traditional Dungeons and Dragons RPG, and this one's gonna be more superhero based. One other game comes out next Tuesday is WWE 2K18, so it's probably another trash fire.
Get wrestling.
Like they have been since they switched to the 2K branding. They've all kind of sucked. So the WWE games were much better. But
Hey, we had fun all fighting each other as John
That's
Cena
true. Yeah.
a while back.
oh yeah, when we did the 4-on-4 John Cena match.
Because 2K was it 2K17 or 16 was one of the free games on
Yep.
Xbox.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we all had a John Cena on John Cena on John Cena on John Cena match.
That was
it was
pretty,
great.
It was pretty. My fantasies
No one-
were fulfilled.
No one could see anyone.
I don't know where I am.
Which John Cena am I? Yeah. That's all the games coming out between now and next week. So if there's one there you see on the list, get excited and pick it up.
If we
Everyone's
missed, if you
gonna-
mi- if we missed one, let us know.
Everyone's gonna get that Rogue Trooper Redux though.
I mean, that's the one. Where
That's the one everybody's waiting.
You might as
for.
well scratch every other one of these off the list and get that one.
Just get it.
Don't worry about it.
Keeping you in the loop with the latest gaming news.
All right, we're going to keep you in the loop now with all the news that you need to know about video games.
I know that's what the lady just said.
Breaking news right here. It's coming straight to us from Mark Z's mouth, Marky Zuckerberg. Real quick update for Trev in the chat. He wants to know who won. John Cena.
John Cena.
So, the Facebook company Oculus, it's they're owned by Facebook. This headline from The Verge says Oculus announces new $199 self-contained VR headset called Oculus Go, shipping in 2018.
Yeah, this is supposed to be a. It's kind of an in between for a couple of options that they already had announced, because they have the typical high end Oculus Rift, as well as a mobile Gear VR, and this one's supposed to fall right in between at the $199 mark, which isn't much more than the one for mobile that was $129, and it's a lot less than the almost $500 Rift. It's supposed to be for everyday use of VR without the trouble of plugging it into a phone or a computer. So I don't know. I didn't see any of the announcement or whatnot. Does it sounds like it's
Everything is
it
on
supposed
board.
to,
It's onboard processing.
and it's supposed to be able to play a lot of the same
I mean,
type of
it's-
stuff, or
Nah, that's
So how do you
that's-
feed it?
You feed cheese. It likes cheese.
No.
yes, everyone likes cheese unless they're lactose
There's a receiver
intolerant.
or what?
What do you mean? It's all there. That's the whole unit. That's it. That and the wireless controllers. So that's like a
So-
console almost. Or that
Okay,
is.
it's like so.
It's a computer.
Games will come out for it.
Well, they come out for Oculus, and then and so this supports. I don't know that it's going to support all the games that are out now, unless they have a way of like, if games scale really well, I'm sure that it probably could. But this one, there's probably going to be more software for it specifically because of it's probably, I don't know its exact specs. I don't know if that's in the story.
Yeah, it says that it has new lenses, a 2560 by 1440 screen, and a spatial audio built into the headset, which can be used without headphones. Uses a controller that's similar to the Gear VR's remote, so developers are supposed to be able to easily build for Oculus Go and Gear VR at the same time.
So it's going to probably have like the equivalent of a phone processor in there. Like it's
Yeah.
not
Okay.
going to be. So I mean, yeah, you're not going to be able to have the same experiences, but it's going to be better than someone just slapping a cell phone into their
Yeah.
visor.
Yeah.
The resolution's going to be
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. Well, it's just really cool to be able to have VR that's more accessible.
Well, and I
just
think that's the
because-
thing is this is the next kind of barrier from
Yeah.
being tethered to a machine with this wire that you're going to trip over and everything else. And I think it's just another step in helping people kind of come to terms on what the VR is and if
Yeah.
they're willing to use it. The other side of it you have to think like we are in a society that's very used to everything we want it now. The technology moves fast. We expect everything to change right now. We want it, the future to be here. And I think it does move at a faster click than it used to. But the one thing you got to consider is like think about like old like computers and like how they were huge and clunky and people were like, oh, well, what are we going to do with it? Like, I mean, I guess we'll do some like, I don't know, some light math or something. I don't know. And people would be like, there's no real use. Maybe we could store recipes on it or something like that. And I think you got to kind of look at VR that way too. Like it's still kind of, I mean, yeah, you look at it in the 90s and maybe that was its infancy, but I think like this is really kind of its birth of the VR and where, so I mean, you look 10 years from now or even 5 years from now, it's going to develop a lot more. It's going to change a lot more. It's going to be, I mean, if you think of the way our phones, how powerful they've become and having this little computer in your pocket, that eventually, 5 years, they could probably have a much more powerful computer inside of this little self-contained headset. You know what I mean?
Well, and I mean, I think that the biggest thing that this brings is the fact that now you have something that is going to be, more affordable, and it's entirely wireless. I think that this is something that actually is that next big leap for VR, because once they have the ability to make that have more processing power and to be a heavier duty one that would match up more with what even like PlayStation and then your PCs can do. I think that's inevitable, is that's the direction that it's going to go, because more people are going to adopt this than they're going to adopt the other ones, because it's cheaper, because you don't have to worry about finding 7 different outlets in your room that you're playing in and make sure that you have enough
things on the wall.
Yeah, exactly. It makes it so that it is 100%. I mean, this is installation.
This is something easy for you to like take over to your parents and be like, "Hey, Dad, put this visor on and try this thing
Check
out."
this out.
And
This is
try
super
rock
cool.
climbing.
Yeah.
And it's something that's not just the cardboard thing that's around your phone, that your phone is
you're holding it against your
processing
head.
things in a weird way that it's not actually designed
Well, and
to
you got
do.
a controller, and you've
got a controller that's provided for you. So, I mean, I think that the further that we get with something like this is actually, I think this is way more exciting to me, because of the fact that it makes it more of an everyman type of thing, and is not going to be as difficult. Because I've thought about getting the PlayStation one, and then every time I think about it, I'm like, man, trying to set that all up in the room that I've got my stuff in just doesn't seem like it would really work. So,
Yeah.
and I think that's one of the biggest hang-ups on top of the price point for a lot of people is, how do I even make it work? So,
I mean, who I'm just curious, out of the 4 of us, would even consider paying $200 for this? Would anybody even consider it?
I think if I know a little bit more about what it's going to actually do,
I mean, is it
maybe.
Yeah. I mean, Trevor, I could see you don't really have any reason to.
I don't have
since
reason.
You have
Right.
If I didn't have it, I'd probably wait for a while. I'd probably want to see how well supported it is.
Yeah.
But I'd be very tempted to. Yeah.
Would you?
I mean, I don't know for sure, because I'd kind of rather have something that had a little more power to it, that I could play more things. Where this, I feel like Zuckerberg kind of wants everybody to have this thing on to like look at Facebook eventually, is like his plan, like, because they're really pushing like 360 live streams and like things like that. And their other thing they're pushing with this is like, imagine just visiting the White House or hanging out with a dinosaur. Like they're trying to they're much more like they're interactive experiences. They're not actually like gaming uses. And I think that's where he's going with this, is like, imagine, and I already heard the other day someone was like talking to an interior decorator for a business, and they're like, the company, they think they're real cool because they gave them a VR headset to put on. I was like, wow, that's really advanced. But it was just like the Gear VR thing with the phone in it to like look at stuff, and they're like, oh, it gave me a headache and whatever. I'm like, well, that's because the processing power sucks, and you have like this lag, and you don't have
Right. And it's not designed. I mean, the phone isn't designed to give you that same experience.
But something like this,
something
if
like
this
this
is
does.
tailored to that, like I could see a lot of businesses using this to give people like an idea of like what their remodel and their home's going to look like what, different experiences like that. I think of amusement parks like that want to do VR roller coasters and stuff like that, where you're on a roller coaster with a VR headset. This would be a much cheaper solution than like the bigger
and I mean,
things like that. So.
Really, to be honest, when you said that it's something that you think that Zuckerberg is trying to push people looking at their Facebook in this, I think it's going to inevitably become maybe even a way that they start producing some of their own content, because Facebook is working on TV shows, right? So, I mean, it seems like every big company like that is trying to do that. So, to me, something like this gives them the ability to perhaps even be able to film things in 3D so that the viewer can then experience that total immersion of a show or whatnot. With also probably having the option of being able to get heads-up display on things like notifications of different kinds or whatnot.
I'm excited. I'm intrigued to see where it goes. I still think augmented reality is where it's at and where it's gonna.
It's so cool.
I want just because I feel like you can still be engaged in your actual environment and still be doing something like playing a video game or whatever.
Sure.
Is now to be like, here's a TV I'm playing and I can still like see what's going on around me. Where this takes people completely out of it. I heard a guy at the press conference today talking about like a virtual workspace where you're in your VR helmet and you have a mouse and a keyboard on your desk and everything is synced up to the VR, and then you can teleport a person into the conference and you can talk to them right there, and then you could have 100 monitors if you want. You could have like all, and I'm just like, I just don't think that's practical for a workspace yet if there's no camera on it for them to see around them. Like, just to be like, I'm going to my office, and it's like just like 100 people in a big room.
Sounds like you took that idea from Kingsman, when they have those glasses that they put on, and then they see other people that are hologram-like in the room. Yeah. That's what that sounds like to me.
Yeah. Anyways, we won't spend much more time on this, but it is interesting. It's cool to see VR.
It's very interesting to see where that ends up going.
Next story comes from Polygon.com. It says GameStop ad treats bad pre-order tactics like a joke.
This it's so weird. They
what? I didn't see this till tonight.
Yeah, they've created.
I'm just gonna read the ad real quick because it's right on the screen and everybody can see it, but they can't see it if they're listening. The ad just says, "Sorry, the bonus mission is blocked unless you pre-order Assassin's Creed Origins." That's
it's not just that. It's got they've got like a picture of it, and then a camel pops up in front of the screen with a derp look on it, and then it goes to this screen that says, "Sorry, the bonus mission is blocked."
No, still, either way.
So
the camel thing doesn't make this any better.
No, I'm just saying, like it's not. It's like they are very specifically saying you're going to miss out on content if you don't pre-order this, which is just terrible.
That's just
I don't know. It's just ridiculous, especially since it is something that's coming from GameStop, and the fact that they already had, what was that last year with the story that came out where they weren't putting new games out in the store or whatnot. It's crazy to think that that's something, not to mention the fact that most games, extra content that you're going to get from a pre-order or from any of that kind of stuff, rarely is it going to be something that is going to be an end game or a necessity. So
or even really have a purpose.
Yeah. So I mean that's the thing. It's like they're purposely trying to get people in on this with a pre-order that's not going to be something that is key to playing the full game itself. It's always something that's, I mean, that's what that is bonus mission. So it's I don't know, it's skeezy.
It's weird though, because the way this Polygon article reads is they're saying it's like treats it like a bad joke or something like that, and I just wonder, is it become that point that this is such a staple now in gaming that everybody's okay with this being the joke? Like,
it's like this is fine.
The normalization of it is what frustrates me more than anything, because it's like, for one, if companies need to do this, like to boost pre-orders, that's one thing, but we've already established this narrative that that this stuff isn't good content. Like, it's not. It's inconsequential. It's not. It's not something that you are going to miss out on anything. So like, why? It's just weird to me. Like, because I don't see this as. I mean, this doesn't sell it to me anymore. This just makes GameStop look like jerks. And they like rubbing it in your face.
Time,
I mean, no, they're all that way for the most part.
Because I mean, the other part of it too is going along with the normalizing. I mean, the more that this kind of stuff is something that's celebrated in this, I mean, that's what this is. They're celebrating it, trying to say, hey, you need this. If you don't pre-order it, you're not going to get this. it seems like it's something that can potentially push developers to maybe even go beyond what they're already doing and actually putting important games stuff behind that pre-order. Which just seems like, I mean,
yeah, I don't know if it's. I think that they'll probably have enough backlash if they did that.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do it again. But I don't know.
I mean, the problem with that too is that you're talking about you can't really do it behind pre-orders because then you're blocking it off for anyone that buys it after the game comes out. That's the downside about. I mean,
they've done that before. Though.
Batman Arkham City got in a lot of trouble
Yeah.
because they did that with the Catwoman stuff.
Yeah, and then they release it later because they're like, "Oh, sorry."
Right, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like that seems like that could be something that could protect it from ever putting something that's very specific to end game or actually completing a game into a pre-order. But
Yeah.
you never know.
Well, if we hadn't said it before, we'll say again: don't pre-order games. At least from GameStop. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I haven't pre-ordered a game from GameStop. And
Yeah, I mean,
So
it's
long.
just pre-order it on your console or something.
I don't remember the
It's
last
just
time I
whatever. Just so, but you could do it like the day before and still get
Yeah.
this stuff, and like do it to get it pre-installed. I don't look down on that.
That's not
Like,
considered a
But doing
pre-order.
it
That's
a month in advance.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
see you doing it like do it a week in advance, whatever. That's fine, but there's no need to pre-order a game. I mean, unless you're like, you know what, I have the money right now. I might not have the money in a month, so maybe I
Spend
should
it
pre-order
now.
this so that
Okay.
I'll give you that. All right, but don't fall for this stuff. This is just baloney,
Well,
bull
shoot,
crap,
I mean-
trying to like suck you in.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pre-orders used to seem like it was a
it was
hey,
just a nice
you
little-
want to make sure you've got this game the day that it comes out.
But with digital copies,
But with digital copies, it's not an issue anymore.
and the way retail works now, I don't know that I've ever been since Grand Theft Auto 3 was the only game I can remember in recent history on the PS2 that I could not find. It
Yeah.
sold out everywhere. And I couldn't find it in town for like 2 weeks. It took me forever to find that game. Or maybe a week. 2 weeks might be an exaggeration. But I can't, like in recent history, I cannot think of a time when a game was released that you couldn't go to the store and buy it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's
yeah,
just-
I mean, it used to. I mean, I remember when it was, you get the $5 card and you've got the guarantee that you're getting it. So that didn't feel like it was the same type of thing either. Whereas this don't pre-order games.
All right, next story comes to us all the way from Newsweek.com. It says Nazi killing video game. Wolfenstein 2 angers Nazis with Make America Nazi Free Again slogan.
Yes,
This
we
is
are
kind of a
now.
non-story, right?
Huh?
It's kind of a non-story.
Why is that?
No, it is because there's been some backlash from the most recent advertisement that Wolfenstein 2 had, in which they showed a video where America had been taken over by Nazis. As the story goes with this
an alternate
Wolfenstein, it's an
history.
alternate
Yeah.
history that is full of Nazis. And there were a lot of people that started tweeting and making a lot of noise on social media about this, saying that this is one way to lose your customers is by going
Wait,
political.
Nazis were?
I don't even know if they were necessarily Nazis. I mean, like one of the guys said, "Oh wow, what a clever marketing trick, tapping into hysterical leftist power fantasy, so current, so subtly
It's a leftist power fantasy to want to kill Nazis?
so subtly political. Wow,
Are you serious? You tell me that all Republicans love Nazis? Like,
yeah, that's what it is. So they
Wow.
said, I'm trying to pull up the rest of this tweet here. They said, wow, go Fred yourselves. Another one said, way to make it political, not buying. The other one said, cool, didn't know Bethesda teamed with SJWs and ANTIFA. I don't even know what that's an acronym for. ANTIFA. What is that?
It's a group.
Okay.
Antifa. It's like a thing that you put. It's on the outside
I
of the
think they
car
say
to pick up like
anti-fascist.
radio stations.
Oh, okay.
And stuff like you have to.
Oh,
adjust it.
the antennas. Okay, okay. But yeah, like people
It's
saying,
like a
way to
loofah
make
for
this
your
game
radio.
political.
Yeah.
Like those are people that have no idea what this game's history or this
And they don't even
series
play video
history
games.
is about. This game is 100% about killing Nazis. It always has been.
Teddy says it's American to want to kill Nazis. I think it's more than American. I think it's kind of a
kind of a
universal.
It was a
universal
world
thing.
war.
Yeah. I don't think just America wants the Nazis to be.
I mean, Russia started as the ally of the Nazis, and then by the end of the war, they were doing the most killing of Nazis.
But I mean, there are some crazy responses to this because they said because since this isn't an alternate reality, the game is. That's what the tagline is they set: "Make America Nazi free again." Like there's one of them that I dislike how you phrase this. You guys might want to make a statement that you guys don't hate Trump or freedom. And someone else was, why must politics be put into everything? It's just getting tiring. That's why I play video games, to get away from that garbage. It so baffles me that there are so many people that got so upset and wound up about this game and the advertisement.
I mean, it's the state of affairs. Like,
it is.
It's just the way everybody is mad about everything all the time, and we keep on rewarding it. We keep on rewarding people's behavior.
You stay relevant if you have something to complain about.
We reward this behavior on a daily basis. Our president rewards it like everyone else around them. Oh, they don't. It doesn't. It's the thing that people don't. They want to get mad at Trump about something. And I'm not even trying to defend him. I'm just saying their disapproval and anger about it just feeds the fire, and it just goes both ways, because then like that causes someone who disagrees with him to post something outlandish, and then that gets the other group of mad, and everybody just validates each other by their reactions. If we could just like be chill and calm about this stuff for once and just be like, hey, you know what? Whatever. That's an opinion. We all have them. It's fine. Like, let's move on. But
Get
no.
woke, Eric.
We all have to thanks.
Get woke.
I need to get woke.
Yeah.
You're right, Trevor. I'm sorry.
You need to be angry all the time.
I know. I'm so mad. I'm just mad because of how sleepy I am, according to the chat.
You're so sleepy. Wake up.
I didn't know I looked sleepy. Maybe
I don't think
look
you look
bored.
sleepy.
Let's see if this helps.
You should. It's like the mouth thing, except
You look, you look kind of boring.
Where can I roll? My eyes are dry. I got granny eyes again. Oh, that was Trevor. All right, we got one more story. Get ready to get triggered, Internet. We got a hot one coming at you. This one's also from Polygon.com. It says, the darker the skin, the harder the game. South Park pretend to care about race.
Yeah, I think this was a bit of an opinion.
Yeah, this article it is a very much 100% opinion. I don't care as much about the article. The article's really
right.
Actually, I think the article's kind of good, but I just want to kind of point this out and just because. So here's what they're doing. If you have not established it by the headline, is in the game when you choose your difficulty level, depending on where you choose how hard you want the game to be, your skin tone goes from light to dark.
So it's entitlement based.
So it's pretty much saying, hey, if you're white, the game is easy.
Yeah.
But if you want the game to be hard, you should be a darker skin. Now I think where this article is right, and I think where they did kind of a good job in this guy. This was written by Jeremy Winslow, who is an African American man himself, and so I think that he has a valid and unique like perspective on this story. And I think his disappointment is that he's not offended at that they did it as necessarily as much as that they didn't use it as an opportunity to stick to their guns, and maybe why this is actually kind of true in some ways. Like not, I think he's because Ubisoft kind of comes out, and I don't know if they got direct quotes from the creators of South Park, but kind of the general consensus was, oh, it's just a joke. It's fun. It's funny. It's a joke. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of a tasteless joke. But I think his point is maybe if they were actually trying to make like a comment or it was some sort of maybe social commentary, I get why they would say, oh, maybe it would be better. I don't know. But I think if you say it's a joke, then you're saying that the inequality is a joke. And like if you say they're being very serious about it, then it's like, wow, that's kind of a tone that maybe isn't unexpected for a video game, especially a comedic video game. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? So yeah, I mean South Park is always, they always have, I Teddy, don't misquote me by saying why is it unique. I'm saying unique perspective from us. I'm not saying being an African American is unique. I'm just saying that his perspective is unique from four white dudes sitting here talking about it. Okay, so
I mean, but really, no, kidding. I'm not gonna go there. I was gonna trigger you. I'll stop.
How are you gonna trigger me? You don't. I'm curious because I didn't say anything that.
No,
was
I
triggerable.
mean, in some way, you're kind of identifying race as.
No, you go ahead. I don't know what are you trying to say. I'd like you to say it instead of just beating around the bush here, Jeremy.
Well, I'm not saying that I agree with it. I was just going to try to trigger you by being like, well, you're kind of being a little racist by saying that's. Way.
A unique perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, it is from me. That's
yeah.
like,
I mean, you applied all of us just because we're
That's
white
like
that our perspective can't be as unique as his. Like,
yeah,
you know,
it can't be because of it can't be.
It can be just as unique.
Well, no, it can be. No, I know, but it can't be that. I was using the term unique
I
goes
know,
both
I see,
ways.
I was
You can't
just
use the
trying-
word unique and then just say, "Well, it only applies to unique things."
See, that's
well,
why it wasn't
Yeah, that's
gonna
how
work.
the word works.
I was just I was thinking,
You can't-
I'll trigger Eric, and it kind of worked.
I did
But-
kind of, but
but-
not for the reason you
but-
thought it would. I don't think.
Well, no,
I mean, it's like
but
saying
that's why I chose to
it's
stop
like that's
it,
like
was 'cause I
saying
was
someone
thinking,
who spent a lot of years in a jail in Japan would have a
I mean-
very different perspective than people who did not. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? It's a sensitive subject, and I don't claim to be a know-it-all or know what's going on here or know anything, or say it's right or wrong.
Yeah. I mean, a suburban white person or black person has more privilege than a trailer park white or black person too. I mean, money has something to do with it.
Yeah,
Lots of things have something to do with it.
But that's not. That's still not an area that I want to go into in this
No, I
conversation
understand.
because I think that's something that you personally cannot speak to because you don't have that experience. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about, a unique experience. You do not have that experience because your experience has only been ever white man. That is only your experience.
But then why
cannot
does
talk-
someone who is not white can talk towards my experience like they know what it's like?
Because
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, they can because it's very obvious. Because you get way more privilege than them, and that's why it's obvious. Because you don't realize it. You don't realize it because you've never had to. You've never been discriminated against because of it. That's the thing. And so I don't know why that makes white people so upset, but there's a reason it does.
I'm not upset about it.
I'm just telling you that's this thing. Like we cannot claim that we understand that perspective. There is no room for us or right on our side to. If they want to, you can get upset about them trying to say they know what it's like to be white, and that can make you mad. That's okay. That's for you to.
No, it's not. But that's the thing. It's not okay.
I mean, well, no, I'm just saying for your perspective, if that makes you mad, that's your space. That's like your thing. You can do that. That can make you mad. I don't think it's right to get upset about that. I don't think there's a reason to get upset about that.
I don't
because,
in many circumstances. I think there are some that.
But I think you're still trying to put it as like, oh, well, it's a social economical thing. Like, well, if they're a rich black person and it's the same experience as a white person, I still don't think.
Oh
that's
no,
the
it's still
same.
not the same.
It's not the same. So I don't.
I'm not saying that at all.
I mean, you use a trailer park example, and I guarantee you could take both races from a trailer park and clean them up, and put a tuxedo on or a suit on them, and they would still get treated differently. Like in certain situations, not every situation, but I still think there are certain scenarios where they would still get treated differently. So I don't think you can make that an example. So, anyways, I did not mean to go down this road, but Jeremy, you did a very good job of triggering me. Thank you very much. Thank you. But
I just want you to understand, I wasn't trying to do it because that's my belief. I was just, I knew it would trigger you. That's the only thing.
This is interesting. I mean, South Park is not afraid to go there in a lot of things and a lot of issues. They've always been out to offend everyone. I think, and who knows, I don't know if Matt and Trey have ever said anything about it specifically, but if this is, I mean, maybe this is a little bit of a biting commentary on their part, or maybe it's just an offensive gag. I don't know. But it's out there, and I'm still going to play this game because I really like the last one. So, that's all. Should we?
That's them.
Should we move over to the cooking segment? Mm-hmm. Should we see
Probably.
what
Get your oven mitts on. It's time for Jeremy's hot tips.
Trevor's. Trevor's tips.
Hello. I have hot tips today, so I've got some hot tips for Shadow of War for you. My first hot tip comes as merely a suggestion. I suggest you play it on the Nemesis difficulty, which is the hardest difficulty.
Ooh.
But I know it's for me, like, I started it and I was just like, because I hate playing a game, and if I try and go in the hardest difficulty, I start in it, because if I don't start in it, I don't get the achievement for doing it. And if I'm going to do it and get the achievement, I'm going to go through the trouble of completing a game on the hardest difficulty, I want to get the achievement for it. But I've been having a lot of fun with it. It kind of amps things up. I think it makes combat faster. The enemies seem smarter. And I swear it makes the guys come back from the dead way more often, because I've had about half my guys come back from the dead. But yeah, it's a suggestion. If it annoys you that the game is too hard, then fine. But I've had a lot of fun with it. But that's my first tip. Also, my second tip: if you do it well, and anyway, do the story missions first. You unlock a lot of really cool powers, like the double jump by the story missions. So do some of the story missions first before you start doing a lot of the Nemesis stuff. Also, you get a level up a little bit, where you're not quite so outclassed by these guys. And also a little more general. Plan ahead for your strikes against the orcs, because a lot of them will have. Go find the worms, because you will be able to find intel on them, and knowing the weaknesses and the strengths of the different orcs will determine how well you do against them. Like, some of them might be weak against poison, but they also aren't vulnerable to executions. So it takes it. You will get hurt a lot. Yeah, the elemental stuff is very important to know, and there's different elemental versions of different powers. Like, you have the Wraith Blast or whatever. There is a poison version of it. There's a fire version of it, and there's a ice version of it. So it's good to know what that, and if they're weak to any of those. So, I also this game. Sometimes it's going to take a long time to fight these guys, so be very patient in fighting them, and don't be afraid to run away. Don't let your pride win you over, and you think, I gotta get this guy right now. And so, yeah, run away if you need to. Take your time, move around, reassess situations if you need to. Because a lot of times you'll be fighting more than one of these.
What if I don't want to reassess?
Well, then you'll probably die a lot.
Oh, okay.
But
is there any more hot tips you have for us?
I was gonna say, look through the skills before you start buying them, because a lot of the high level skills are the ones that you probably really want. But if you don't buy the first skills, you won't know that you're not going to get those for a long time. So, yeah, just pay attention to that, because otherwise you won't have the Shadow Strike I didn't end up getting for quite a while, because I didn't buy the other things because I was more focusing on combat stuff. But yeah.
Well, and I think one thing that I didn't realize too is, like, I kept trying to figure out how to dominate the orcs.
Oh yeah.
And that's like a story unlock. So you have to play through the story to get to the point where that's unlocked. It's like one of the last ones on the tier or on the tree or whatever of the story, because it's kind of funny the way it's laid out, because it's like it's like kind of like combat, or what does it say? They're all like categorized, all the upgrades, except for one is just says story. And so it's like
stories.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
And that's another thing. Yeah, you'll try and read through all the skills, just because it'll tell you when you might unlock them and stuff, and if you should try and focus on getting this or not.
Yeah, I think it's just the bottom one that says story is the only ones that are mission based, but the rest of them you can just unlock with skill points. Which there's some easy stuff too. Not to try to steal your segment, but I just want to point out too. There's some easy ways to get skill points, like just going up. Once you go up all the towers in an area, you get a skill point for that, which there's usually only 3 of them. And with the running ability, you can get around so fast that you can just knock that. And then there's a bunch of like little things like collectibles that when you get all those, you get a skill point. And like each map kind of has, or each area kind of has its own little thing, and you can get skill points pretty quick that way. So
yeah, I was gonna say one more thing, I guess. So the might, that I got a little confused at the point, because there's might, which you build up to use the executions and like your Wraith Flash and the like some other things. And there's also Wrath, which you build up to use the Elven Wrath, which is the super thing. You shoot a bunch of arrows and stuff. And for me, they have a different mode that you can upgrade to where you gain might through all your sword hits. But if you get hit, it resets completely. Because normally if you get hit, it'll just knock it down a little bit. But I really like that because you typically want to avoid getting hit anyway. And so if you can avoid getting hit, it builds up a lot faster into where you can double load those executions and you can get the brutal execution. But yeah, so...
The executions are the coolest part when you lop their heads off.
Yeah, well, and the brutal executions are nuts because
that's the one where you just get them on the ground, just start stabbing them a bunch or something, right?
Well, but
that's
there's like
brutalized.
the brutalized ones, but then there's a brutal execution, which is like a normal combat thing because you have the executions and you'll take guys out, cut their heads off, whatever. But the brutal ones are especially bad. And like I've had ones where he like cuts off his legs, and he cut off his arm, and like stabs him in the head, and then chops his head off or something. It's nuts. But,
All right, cool. Thank you for bringing the hot tips tonight, Trevor. Jeremy's very appreciative, right?
I am.
Very, very.
It wasn't quite as good as Jeremy's normally, but hopefully,
Whatever.
you'll have.
Well, I
five
like the Teddy picked up on your tip real easily. Hardest difficulty or bust, you noobs.
It's not even about the
Trap
hardest
dog.
difficulty thing. It's
Yeah.
just like
it is.
It's part of
That's
that.
what it is.
It's pride.
For me, it feels like it makes the game a little more personal. Because I don't know if I honestly don't. I can't tell, but it seems like the guys have come back a lot for me, and from other people's experience, or at least one other person I know, that it hasn't been that much for that one, and to where it just makes it feel.
Is
like
it maybe
the
because you've
captains-
been going after the orcs more, like the
Maybe.
captains and stuff, or
Maybe
because I know I haven't been going after them as much. If they kill me, like then I definitely seek them out. Like,
Yeah.
but I haven't been seeking them out as much. So, but I don't know.
I like it because it makes it feel more, like the fighting the captains is much more of an event kind of
Yeah.
deal. So it's Teddy says you can hear the excitement and the dismemberment explosion.
Oh, yeah,
This game is very brutal, and I love the
dismemberment. It
brutality.
gets me excited in video games. When we were planning this show, which we did for a few weeks, getting everything put together, we came up with a lot of segments, some of which you have never heard or seen before.
It's true.
And we prepared one of those for you right now.
The internet is dark and full of flubs. They're fail tales.
All right, this is our first episode to feature a fail tale. These are, as the nice lady said, these are fails all across the internet. And here's a video for you. I would like you to enjoy watching this fine young Russian man play Cuphead.
I'm not getting hit by a coin.
Was that his controller?
It's his phone.
Oh, wow. There's some anger there.
Jeez. He's pacing back and forth.
After smashing his phone on the floor. And now he takes his phone to the corner of his coffee table.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're going to do it, right?
More!
He lost his headphone.
What?
I don't understand why you would do that. This guy, he's so
That's
mad.
what he's doing right now. He's going, I can't believe I just did that.
And then he tries to text someone.
So there you have it. This guy, I think it's funny because Cuphead is one of those games where I'm not one to break things when I'm playing a video game, but if I got close, it would be Cuphead that would cause me to do it.
I will be honest, I almost threw my controller once or twice. Like, in my head, I was throwing my controller, but I was...
I remember as a kid biting my Super NES controller one time. I was so mad, and there were like teeth marks in it.
Nice.
And I did like throw it a couple times, but never like
I
this
thought about...
violent.
I was like...
Ooh, yeah.
I'm gonna suck it.
The worst part about throwing like the Elite controller, all the
That's got some
magnetic
weight.
pieces
You'd
will just
lose
go
everything.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Jolliver says, "Kill phones. Be nice to headphones."
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I feel like Cuphead is a game that I enjoy enough, and I feel like knowing how difficult it is has kept me from really feeling like I want to throw something. I feel like there's a lot of other games that are not as difficult. That when I get stuck in those spots, I'm like, I shouldn't be struggling with this. Whereas
some may say knowing is half the battle, but no, it's not.
It is
nope,
though.
Not
it
with
is.
this game.
I can't even
It is with
imagine.
this
so
game.
mad.
I can't even think of the last game
I wanna
that I
break
got this
everything.
frustrated when you and then it shows you were a fraction of a sliver.
I mean, I'm
of
really thankful.
being
I'm
the
thankful that it
boss.
shows you, though. I am thankful
No,
for that.
I'm not saying that I'm
'cause you know how
not getting
much more you gotta do.
frustrated as I play it. I'm just saying I haven't had any urges to like actually smash something.
No, neither have I. But I'm just saying, if there were a game that I've ever
My head
played,
tells me I'm
this
doing
would be
it.
the one.
No,
This
because
would be the
I
one.
get more like when I'm playing other games, I get way more upset than I have with this one.
I can't think of one.
I'll
that
yell
I've,
at the screen,
Weird.
but I'm.
Kinda.
You're unique. You're very. You have a unique
Yeah,
perspective.
yeah,
I think
Kyle.
it's. I think it's because I just know that it's such a difficult game that it helps me not feel as terrible of a video game player.
Trev91 says, I smacked my Game Boy over my head once and broke it. I was an angry kid sometimes.
That sounds like that would hurt a lot.
Yeah, those things were big and bulky. Those,
especially if it was the original before they shrunk down.
Oh gosh. Should we dive into the mailbag? Yep. Let's jump in there deep.
Check unheard messages.
Emails, voicemails, or DMs. We want to hear from you.
Mailbox number, please.
It's mail time.
First message.
All right, we're gonna try to get through this quick. You can email us at theloop@minuteatub.com if you'd like us to read your email. Talk about something.
Video games.
You need some advice.
Things.
You need some. You want us to just talk about a specific topic, whatever. Hopefully, it's about video games. If you're emailing the loop, there's a Tubcast. If you got other stuff.
Yeah.
Also call us 475 Tub Call. Right? 475 Tub Call. And speaking of someone calling us, that's all we got. We got a phone call. So here's this.
Go.
It's not coming through the system.
This app for these messages is terrible.
Way to go, Kyle. Wait, that's the whole...
That's the message.
Can we hear that again, just in case maybe he said something? Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Was that a
Sounds like NASCAR.
NASCAR
I don't know.
or a
Shifting gears.
game?
Yeah. So how do we? So yeah. How do we feel about racing games? I know myself. I tend not to play the ones that are really racing games,
Like
more-
simulators.
Yeah, but I'm really
Yeah.
more into like an open world kind of gameplay
Like
where you,
Forza
you know,
Horizon
like Forza
3,
Horizon. So,
2.
So yeah, I think
so
we're all on board.
I mean, I think we all kind of gravitate towards
Forza
that
Horizon.
type of.
I mean, that's a little more fun.
racing
I just
game.
want another
I
Burnout
plan on
game.
getting Monster Jam at the end of the month here.
Nobody
for-
else in the world
for
even knows that
Switch.
game exists.
I
No.
know, but I still plan on getting it.
Need
Good-
for
good for
Smeed.
you.
Need for Smeed.
Good job.
Need for
Smeed.
is
Need for
coming out.
Sneed.
Need for Schmeed.
So-
That
Smeed
game
for
looks
Need.
really, really cool, just with all the like staged, like
Yeah.
cinematic moments and stuff.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of over the top, but that'll be cool.
So, yep. I think we answered their question.
You did an excellent job, Jeremy.
No problem.
Thank you very much.
I didn't expect him to try and pull that serious. Oh, yeah, what do you think? What do you think about that, huh?
Thanks for calling Car Talk.
Where we're click and clack
Yeah, I know.
every Saturday morning.
Oh
on
man.
NPR.
Yeah, my car, it's making this noise. I'm not sure if it's good, if it's bad. Every time I shift gears, it's doing this thing. It sounds kind of like.
Well, I tell you what. If you get under the hood there, and if you check right by your right blinker, there's this fuel cell section, and your blinker fluid's probably low.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, well, I checked that and see, it didn't change much, but it kind of just started sounding like this. Like, so, anyways. Yeah.
If you want your thoughts to be heard, or if you want to cause Trevor to choke to death,
Almost just passed out there.
give us a call.
He was just joking. That's all right.
You all right, Trevor?
Sometimes I just saw in our old show notes here, Jerry Price, time traveler. I was like, we should
Yeah.
totally call him sometime
We should
again.
call him sometime again.
All right. This is the part of the show where we want to thank our Patreon peeps. These are the people that make it all happen. This is where the magic is. If you're a co-producer at their level, which is $10 or higher on patreon.com/minuteatub, your name could be featured in Shining Patreon Coral. These kind souls donate to us on a monthly basis, so we feel special and important and can keep finding the motivation to produce 2 shows a week, YouTube series, multiple podcasts, game streams, all that stuff. We thank you for your support. It means a lot to us. It fills our hearts with joy and hopefully not too much cholesterol.
Only during the lunchcast.
That's the only time.
Yeah. And we do have Patreon that is coming up next, Patreon Hangout that is coming up next week on
Next
Wednesday. 8 p.m. Central. If you are in that $10 level or higher, I know it doesn't say that on the Patreon site right now. We are in the process of getting that all changed over. But that is our level now that you get to hang out with us.
So Kyle will send you a message. He'll get your details. It's all on Google Hangouts. So he'll just need your Google Hangout email address account, like whatever email you have tied to that account, and we'll get you all like squared away there.
Shirts are optional
But
because it's not on Twitch.
anyways, yep. So you can do that, and hopefully we see you all there next Wednesday. That's going to be at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's an hour before the show next week.
Yes.
I think that wraps it up for us. What do you think, Kyle?
I think so.
Okay. All right, everybody. Stay warm. It's starting to get cold out there. You know, the winter is coming, and like I'm not even from like a reference to Game of Thrones. Like the winter.
The winter is here.
It's actually coming.
Game
like,
of Thrones.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Good night. See you tomorrow night.
Bye.
Check us out on the Tubcast tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time.